Hello and welcome to Beauty Way Tarot. I've been on a sabbatical for a while, but I am back and I just thought I'd do a collective reading for the full moon, which is tonight or today. I hope everyone's doing well. It's been a crazy time. Let's see if we can get some guidance from the cards just for the collective. Just kind of dipping my toes back in the water, filming readings again. Hoping to get some guidance out to whoever needs it. Okay, so what do we have? What does the collective need to know right now? What's the most important thing for the collective to know right now to help them on this journey? What is the best guidance for the collective right now? Feels like people are carrying heavy burdens right now. That's just what I'm getting off the top of my head. Let's see what we got. Ace of Wands. Very powerful card. Let's see what else we got to back it up. It's always a mix of energies. When you put down cards, it's never just one card, but it's the blending. What else we got? The Seven of Swords. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, you know, sometimes it's not a bad thing. It depends on the cards that are around it. It doesn't always have to be somebody in your life that's a liar. It doesn't have to mean that. It could mean surviving, doing what it takes to survive, which I think a lot of us are doing these days. Six of Pentacles, the Hanging Man for the Root. Let's see what we've got in the past energies. So for the past, we've got the Five of Swords. Wow, coming from the Five of Swords into the Seven of Swords. Very interesting. I rarely see those cards together, even though they kind of give me similar sneaky vibes usually. But let's see what else we got. We got the Nine of Wands in the sky. We've got the Ten of Swords in the future. Let's see what we've got for the self-concept. We've got the Moon for the self-concept and the Three of Cups for hopes and fears. So who's in our house? What kind of energy is showing up in the house? In our surroundings, in our environment? The Star. Interesting. We'll see how that plays out. And what do we have? Last but not least, the outcome. The Ace of Swords, another ace. Let's see if we can get a major arcana here. We've got the Four of Pentacles. That's usually holding on to something or protecting our hearts. What else for the outcome? The Tower. Okay. Tower's not always bad. If you've watched enough tarot, you've figured that out by now. The Tower looks pretty scary, pretty harsh, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, well, let's start reading this then. So we're starting out with the Ace of Wands, representing yourself. It's a new beginning, a new energy coming in for you. Something new, something that feels really powerful, something coming towards you. It's like, it feels like a protective energy because of the Seven of Swords here in the atmosphere. It's like, you're not going to let anybody get away with something. You're standing up for yourself. There's somebody who's trying to get away with something, but you're not going to let them. You're aware. You know what's going on with this person. You know what's fair. We've got the Six of Pentacles and what you're learning about now. You're learning about what's fair and what's fair for you. And you're not going to let people get away with things. Maybe you've done a lot of that in the past. Like here, we've got the Five of Swords in the past. That's like, was it worth it? Was the price that you paid worth what you got from it? You paid a price of maybe not using your power that you knew you had and kind of holding back. Maybe you had some issues with being assertive. You didn't want to be assertive. You didn't want to rock the boat. But you know it's fair. You've learned what's fair. You're pretty much coming around the corner with that lesson. Because then in the future, we've got the Ten of Swords. And that's like, that's done with. Lesson learned. Everything that you wanted to know about that business is over. And then we'll do some clarifying too. We'll just get the general idea of what's going on here. Then we've got the Hanging Man at the root. And that's somebody kind of doing what they can to see things in a different perspective. Like, yeah, it looks, and when I think about it this way, it looks like this. But if I take a step back, it could look different. It's like maybe there's somebody else helping you see things in a little bit different perspective. And you're just going to hang out there until you really want to see the truth of things. You want to see what's really going on, because then up here in your self-concept, we've got the Moon. Something is hidden from you. Something is feeling mysterious and like in the dark. And it could be a little scary. Sometimes it can be scary. It's like, whistling in the dark. Like walking along a path and then all of a sudden the sun goes down and the trees are closing in and it's like pitch dark and you hear a noise and you don't know what it is, and because it's dark, the noise seems a whole lot scarier. So you want to look at it and you want to hold up your power. You're keeping in your power, and that's a light too. That can be like a torch that's helping you get through this mystery here. And then for your hopes and fears, we've got Three of Cups. You're having trouble, it looks like somebody's having trouble about feeling shy about being around certain people, like particular people, maybe specific people in your life. there's a holding back, like kind of like these two swords that are left behind. It's like you're not all in. You're kind of like holding back. There's something, you're just waiting. You're in this hanging man position and you're just kind of waiting to see. You're not sure. There's not a lot of people. I don't see any pages or knights or kings or queens here. So this is more like, this is about your inner self, what you're working on within. And, well, that makes a whole lot of sense. People are cautious, being very cautious about gathering together with others. But it feels like it's deeper than that. It's like there's some secrets. Like from here in the moon, it's like people are, you feel a little bit shut out from what's going on. You're not quite sure. You don't have full trust in some people. And you would like to get together with them, but you're holding back because, probably because you're still learning about this, watching out for yourself. You're being a little extra careful, watching out for yourself, making sure that, you know, it's all even and equal and people are giving back to you as much as they're taking. That it's equal reciprocity. Yeah, it's like with this Ten of Swords in the future, which I'll clarify, it looks like you're just about totally finished with all this. You're like, well, you got the star in your house, in your environment. So that is something, because it's interesting that the Tower is here, because the star comes right after the Tower. So some say that you can't get your wishes, all the wishes that you want, all your hopes and dreams and what's in your heart and your just deepest desires, until you've rebuilt this tower that's been knocked down. And this has been a light from the heavens, like a lightning bolt coming from the heavens to knock this tower down. And it's usually a tower that we kind of knew that needed to be knocked down, but it was an awful lot of trouble to knock it down ourselves, and it was just didn't seem worth it. And we put a lot of energy into building that tower. We put our heart and soul into that tower. We thought we were going to get the star when we built that tower. Little did we know we were only going to get the star after that thing was knocked down. But it looks like it's getting knocked down, and it gives us a great opportunity. Even though it's hard, even though it'll make us cry sometimes and gnash our teeth, knocking down a tower is sometimes the biggest blessing you can get. Okay, so then we've got, for the outcome, the Ace of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and of course the Tower. Yeah, you were holding on. You were holding on, but you knew the truth. You knew the truth. You knew that tower had to come down. You held on to it as long as you could. But it is going to come down. And the sooner you can accept the destruction that's going to happen, the sooner you're going to be able to get your star, get all your hopes and dreams. You're going to be able to make everything come together perfectly, because the new tower you're building, you've taken a whole nother look at how towers are built, how things are constructed, and what's the most effective way to keep them together. And you've learned that you want equal give and take. You don't want it to be unequal anymore. You want to be in your power, and you want to have reciprocity with all others in your life, everyone. Okay, so let's just clarify the Ten of Swords for the future. See what that's more about. Clarifying the Ten of Swords in the future. Clarify. Oh, there we go. Oh boy, lots. Okay. First, we've got the Eight of Swords. We've got the High Priestess and the Five of Wands. So we go from the Ten of Swords to the Eight of Swords. Now we know that the Eight of Swords in the natural order of things comes before the Ten of Swords. But it's kind of like a retrospective. It looks like you're letting this be the end of this cycle, because you know what it's like when you have tied your own hands, when you have covered your own eyes, when you have felt completely stuck and you didn't know how to get out of it, but you really did. You know what that's like. You know what it's like to be in that position. So you're going to let the Ten of Swords fall. You're going to let that end. Because you've got really, it's like this is the High Priestess here. And what this is telling me is that you have really, what's brought all this together, this learning and this evolving, this change in perspective, is that you've really learned to more deeply connect with your inner self and your inner guidance. You have been really listening, maybe because you were losing trust in the others around you, and you were kind of forced to do this. You knew it was the only way. And then we got the Five of Wands. It was a struggle. I know this is in the future, but you know, time isn't really the same with tarot. It's kind of like, it's the energies, and the energies are always flowing up and down and around and back and forth. So whether this is going to happen in the future or it's already happened, it's just very fluid that way. So it's kind of hard to say, oh, this is in the past, this is in the future, because it's all kind of happening at once, because it's always now. In a way, there is no future and no past. That's just the way we perceive it. And this is just a little snapshot. Just to really, you know, the way I see tarot is it brings things to your attention that you may or may not want to look at. You know, possible futures, possible outcomes. Nothing set in stone. But it can be helpful in the moment that you see it. Even if just one of these things brings something up for you that you want to chew on a little bit more, helps you understand yourself a little bit more, helps you look at your intent and your motivation a little bit more. That's all. It can be a lot of fun. So let's look more at the star in your house. This is usually a person in your environment, in your life, somebody in your life. But let's see what the cards have to say. Four of Swords. Let's get one more. Or two more. Okay, so now we have a court card. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. And since this is in your house, I'm going to say there's somebody in your life that is very practical and very motherly, has great attention for details, really is loving and caring. And this could be male or female. Then we've got all these choices here with the Seven of Cups. I think you've been dreaming of somebody, and you don't have anybody in particular in mind. It's like maybe you have a lot of choices and all the people around you, the choices that you can make of who you want to be in your life. Maybe you're paring down to the very best, the people that only give you what you give to them. They don't give you less. They don't hold back. They're not toxic. They're caring, loving, honest, with great integrity. You only want the best. You are tired of this sword people. These sword people that come and take. You're done. You're done. That's what this says. You're done with that. But there's still, you feel like there's still a lot you don't know because of this moon. That's how you see yourself. But that, you know, in a way that's good, because it's kind of like keeping your options open and not settling on one particular idea or person. It's like keeping it all open, keeping it a mystery. Maybe you like a mystery. You don't want to be, you know, settled on one particular idea or philosophy or person. You see yourself as somebody who doesn't mind going deeper into the feelings that come up. And maybe that's why you like tarot so much, because it does. It'll bring up feelings. Sometimes really old feelings that you didn't even know needed to be looked at. It can be very cathartic that way. Okay, well, I think that's about all I have for you today on this beautiful new full moon day. Full moon in Pisces. That's pretty cool. I have a moon in Pisces. So it's a very special day, I think. And it felt special to start doing tarot and putting it out there again. And hopefully I'll get some kind of response, and it'll encourage me to keep doing more. So if you liked this, give me some thumbs up out there and subscribe and encourage me to do more. Okay, I love you guys. Take care.